Really? Stand. We're gonna get one. Yeah, that's been, yeah.
Hey, everybody, let's
Definitely still at 15 level, we're there.
Hi.
I didn't bring my glasses, that's why.
No. Well, greetings and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the folks on Zoom. Any new visitors this evening? Welcome.
Right, you're an old visitor.
Good thing you.
I kind of.
Go that way.
Because we're friends, right, yeah. And you're an old member of the club, so I was really trying to say that, even though I had that double meaning.
Well, welcome. If you want club information, come see me. So our next meeting is Tuesday, March 24th, and the assigned subject is wildlife. Photo submissions are due the Monday, the week before, March 16th. And the presenter will be Wendy Keepover.
Hey, Wendy.
Wildlife, not birds.
It can be birds. So Wendy will be presenting on photographing wildlife in Yellowstone National Park.
All right.
And I hear she's got quite a collection of photos.
Come over anytime.
Tigers to grizzlies.
And I'll let Jim Neville speak about our exhibits.
Okay, just to let you know, we announce this every month, so this is nothing new. But our tenure here expires this coming Friday. So I recommend that you take the stuff down tonight, if you're here. And then if you forget, yeah, please don't forget. We'll be here Friday night at 6:30, and I'll have to take it down then too. Now, we have a bonus. This is the bonus month, March. We actually get a month at Bruner House. So Sunday evening, if you'd like to post something at the Bruner House, I'll be there at 6:30, and I have the magic secret password, the internationally known secret. I have it. So I'll meet you there, and we can hang on 17 or so pictures.
Okay.
I think it said, that sounded about right. I counted one, so it's 17 books, so 2 a book is that many pictures. So
Sounds about right.
yeah. So anyway, there's enough for 3 dozen or so pictures for that kind of stuff.
What time?
Please, this is this coming Sunday, March 1st at 6:30.
Okay.
This
No.
evening sometime.
The ones that were taken down here, do they have to be your own?
Yeah. You can take anything you want.
They are for sale as well. Okay. So after many requests over the years, I decided to build a club website. So it's under construction right now, and we have bought a domain name. .org. It's for a community organization. It's Broomfield Photo Club, Broomfield Photography Club.org.
Once it's live.
It is live right now, but it's still under construction. You can look it up. But I'll send it out once it's complete. So if you have any suggestions on what we should have on our website, I mean, I'm putting all our basic information on there and our presenter schedule and all that we normally email out. I'm gonna put that on the website as well. And our meeting information and just basic club information.
Beautiful logo.
Our beautiful logo. Yeah,
Maybe links to some other photo resources.
good idea.
Duraflac, things like that.
Yeah, good idea. What are resources?
Don't forget to mention, you put the pictures from the EOSF on there. From last year's EOSF.
Yeah, last year's calendar contest.
Mhm.
I took those photos and made a little carousel slideshow on the website. So there's 192 submitted photos. They're just cycling through on the website just to show the public an example of our work. I thought that was a good example. So. All right. just one more announcement. I want to encourage club outings, and you don't have to wait for us to make a club outing. Anyone can start an outing. If you have an idea, just find out the details, email the club, and we can share that information with the wider membership. And then people can contact you to get a group together and get out there and make photos. I mean, to me, that's the best way, to learn is by doing. And get out there and learn from each other and experience new places. I mean, we've got lots of beautiful state parks here in Colorado and other parks. And lots of things to photograph here in Colorado, no shortage of that. In day trips, we can go on day trips. So I encourage you, if you have an idea, share it with the club.
And once we get that website up, we'll have a calendar in there, so we could post those types of things, even if it's quick. Post it and say,
We could,
or something
we
like
say
that.
there's an outing on this date, contact so-and-so.
Whatever.
All right, so yeah, out of consideration of others during our presentation, please silence your phones. And tonight, we have Harry Schuessler going to present on the art of photography and fly fishing. And so after his presentation, we'll take a short break and then we'll view our member photos. Go ahead, Harry.
Thank you.
Hope I pronounced your name right.
It was perfect.
All right.
It gets butchered a lot, but that was perfect. Hi, I'm Harry Schuessler. I'm a new member. I think this is my 5th meeting. So, but I've been involved with photography clubs for many years. I know it's going to come as no surprise. You can tell by my accent that I'm not from Colorado. So I grew up on Long Island outside of Manhattan, where I learned to go fishing. I think my favorite thing in the world is to go fishing. If given my druthers, I would go fishing every day of the year. And when I retired, I was fishing back on Long Island 120 days a year, things like that. But then when I moved to Colorado, I didn't fly fish back in New York.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, where you did that on Long Island?
But there is fly fishing, saltwater fly fishing. I've done that, but just recently. To the point, I like fishing so much that I just got back from a fly fishing trip to Grand Bahama Island, and on Thursday I'm going down to South Platte. And on the way here, I was texting with my fishing buddy, who you'll see pictures of. He wants to go to the jungles of Bolivia to fish for an exotic fish called the golden dorado. So we're working on that trip. So, there's not a lot to photograph when you're fishing back on Long Island. And, when I came here and started fly fishing up in mountain streams, up the mountains, I decided there was a nice synergy between fly fishing and photography. I've been involved with photography. I bought my first camera when I was 16, and you could look at me and that was a long time ago. So I've been, involved with photography for a while. I've been a member of a camera club for probably 20 years back in New York. And then I was a member of a club back in Boulder. And now I'm a member here. So if you want to start my presentation, thank you. And if you have any questions at any point, I have a couple of slides that talk about this, what started this whole process, and then photos. It's really a photo essay of a trip that I made. So, I call it the casting light, the art of photography and fly fishing. Next. Like I said, going fishing on Long Island, there was nothing really to photograph. You were at the beach or on a boat. And when I came here, I realized there's a lot of beauty that goes in hand. And I found these perfect quotes for the mindset that I now have when I'm fly fishing up in the mountains. You got Henry David Thoreau and John Gehrig, I think his name is. He's from Lyons. He's a real famous outdoor fly fisherman. He wrote 1 million books, 25 books. He's in all kinds of magazines. And that really is what I think about now. It's more of the journey, not the catching. Next. Oh.
it didn't catch sharing it, sorry. Look right there. Next is coming up as soon as I get rid of this. Hide. They make it so nice and easy. There we go. Collapse that for you. Get it out of the way, and next, coming up. Right,
So you went too far.
got it.
So during the pandemic, I was here and my fishing buddies were back in New York and we would Zoom every now and then. That's the one
That's the one you want.
and we were watching a lot of fishing videos and my friend found a video called the Rocky Mountain Fly Highway. We both watched it and we said, okay, we gotta do that. So that's all the famous trout streams up around Yellowstone, basically in Grand Teton, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. So we decided that we would go on that. And then since I had been fly fishing in the mountains, I decided that, it's a nice synergy. I mean, we were gonna be out every day. He's as nutty as I am. We would fish 12 hours a day. So we knew we were gonna be up at dawn, get the golden hour in the morning, and then in the evening, you'll see the list in a little while, but we were gonna go, every day was a different river we were gonna fish. So there's gonna be all kinds of different landscapes, different waters, we're gonna fish, take photographs. One of the things I like about photography, when I take a picture, I could tell you exactly what I was thinking when I take it. I mean, I have 15,000 photos, most of them I remember exactly what was going on. So those kind of memories that, when I'm fishing and taking photographs that, are gonna capture the moments that are gonna be memories forever. We were gonna let them, the weather, the river flow, things like that dictate where we went. We had an agenda, but it was flexible. And like I said, we were really trying to enjoy the mindfulness of fishing and for me, photography. I think there's a nice mindfulness, that similarity between fly fishing and photography. Next. So, in my mind, these are the similarities between fly fishing and photography. Success in fishing is patience and timing. I mean, there's a lot to be said as far as photography is concerned, but that you have to prepare, look for the shot, walk around, get your composition, make sure the light is right. There's the observation of the environment. When I get to a fly stream, I have to check out, where I think the fish are, what kind of insects are hatching, what I think the fish might be doing. The same goes for photography. It's that composition. You got to walk around. You have to find your composition. You got to set up your tripod. I never go anywhere without a tripod. And just enjoy the environment. Fly fishing is a lot of technique to it. It takes a lot to learn. There's a lot of patience and skill to get the fly where the fish are. The same can be said about photography. To get a good photo, you need to know your equipment. You need to know how to set it up. So precision and technique are important. Listen, we all like to buy photography gear. I just take another lot. I love to buy fishing gear. My two favorite places are a fly shop and a photography store. I have to stay away from both. So, you gotta have the rods, the flies, the lines. The same with, your camera. You need to have the right lenses and filters and tripods and all the other doodads that go along with it. Artistry and storytelling, fly fishing, there's a lot of, there's a nice artistic grace to it. There's a rhythm that goes with, being able to cast a fly nicely and get it to somewhere that a fish is going to think a little piece of fur and bread is going to be something it wants to eat. So this artistic point of it, and obviously photography is a very artistic endeavor. So, I'm not much on visual storytelling, but I mean, there is an aspect to some of my photographs that involve storytelling. Certainly on this trip, there's going to be some storytelling. And then obviously fishing and photography. I'm primarily a landscape photographer. I know, listen, I'm from New York, I know I talk very fast and I'm a little nervous right now, so. If I'm going too fast or my accent is difficult, let me know.
You're
Uh,
fine, you're fine.
Okay. Obviously, going out into nature with my camera or the fly rod is so important to me as a person, that, that connection with nature is important, either if I have a camera or a fly rod or both. So there's that connection to nature that comes with both. Go ahead. So, like I said, we planned this trip. It's all the fame, and we were gonna hit a lot of these places are just named sites, famous for fly fishermen around the world. So I live in Erie, we're driving from Erie, our first stop was the Wind River up in Du Bois, Wyoming, we're spending the night there. We fished that. Then we headed into Grand Teton the following morning. We fished the Snake River. From there, we went up into Yellowstone. We fished the Firestone, the Madison River. We had a VRBO in West Yellowstone for a week. We used that as our base camp. So from there, we went into Wyoming, Montana to fish the Madison River. We went up to Gallatin River. I don't know if anyone's been there. We live in a very beautiful spot in Colorado. The Gallatin River basin is unbelievably beautiful. It was really special. I'm planning on going back this June because it was so beautiful.
Is that like northwest of Yellowstone?
You go out of West Yellowstone, it's up north. To get to like Big Sky and places like that, you go up there. That's the Gallatin River. I don't know if you have a river runs through it. It was that river that was the scenery of that movie. Then we went down to Idaho and we fished the Henry's Fork River. We drove down to Idaho to the Snake River. We were planning on fishing the Snake River, but it was too crazy. We couldn't do that. And then we drove to the complete opposite side of Idaho to the Silver Creek in Idaho. And that was a lot of fun. So that was what my friend was from Long Island. He flew here. We left from my house. So it was him and I and our fishing gear and my camera gear in my car. And that's a trip that I'm gonna document. Now, he's a really good friend because I told him to buy a red sweatshirt because I wanted him in the river with a red sweatshirt. You'll see him doing that. So next. So this is the sunset of the day in Du Bois, Wyoming. That's the Wind River with the red rocks in the back. We didn't catch a lot. Well, here's the thing, okay? We were outclassed by the rivers there. We thought we were really sophisticated fishermen, but as my friend said, it was like two people that played a lot of miniature golf, showed up at the Masters. And we just got outclassed. So I think I caught one fish there at this river. I think he caught one, but there were days that it was really bad.
Were there a lot of other people fishing? A lot of.
Not here, but in some of the rivers in some of the really famous places in Yellowstone there were. And I'll tell a story about that. So you go next. This is just, I wasn't having any luck fishing, so I got out my camera and was walking around. So that's just something. I love old fences. So next. That's all around the same time around sunset. That's a 2-shot bracket. I wasn't focus stacking at that point, so that's like more of an exposure stack, just two images. I like the red against the green and the blue, a little color contrast on many levels there. So the next morning we woke up before dawn, drove from Wyoming into Grand Teton. This is when you're coming before you get to Grand Teton. There was a moose out there somewhere running across the river, and that's the first time my friend had ever seen a new moose. So that was at sunrise, right before we got to Grand Teton. That's the Buffalo Fork River. We didn't fish that. We were in a big rush to get into the actual Grand Teton, but you can see just after sunrise. That's my friend. He's in the Snake River in Grand Teton. We didn't catch any fish there. We just, we had an agenda. We just needed to get somewhere. We needed to get somewhere fast. We knew where we wanted to go because we were going from Wyoming all the way up to West Yellowstone. So we had a big trip through Grand Teton and Yellowstone. So we fished there for a while. The background was very distracting, that's why I converted to black and white. It was a weird, just didn't do anything for the photo. So that's my friend, he didn't have on his yellow, his red sweatshirt. That's the Snake River, a different perspective. I like Grand Teton a lot, it's a really nice park.
Were you in the river there or on a bridge or something?
I was in the river.
Really?
Yeah, I have waders, I have a big tripod, I take my tripod into the river all the time.
Oh, nice.
This is when we drove up into Yellowstone, this was in September, early September. It was snowing, it was raining, there was thunder, there was lightning. It was like every time we turned a corner, it was a different kind of weather. That's the Lewis Falls. I just like the way that the storm in the background created a nice atmosphere. Just an interesting composition, I thought. There's the red sweatshirt. So that was the Firehole River. It was right before you get to the Old Faithful Geyser Basin. The water was very warm. There were a couple of fish rising. We tried to catch them. It didn't work out. So we fished there for maybe an hour and then we moved along. So that's my friend Tony. That's he was just so focused on fishing. He didn't want to stop. I made him stop at Old Faithful because he had never been to the park. And I said, you have to go there. So the sun was starting to go down. We had that nice yellow orange background. I made him go there. He wasn't happy, but nonetheless, he knew what he was getting in for. I told him that I'm gonna take pictures, so you're gonna have to deal with it. And he was good. So then when the sun was going down, we hit the flood geyser, and it was unbelievable. Like, I like to play with colors. I didn't play with any colors here. So the sun was going down. I had 3 bracketed shots because the sky was, it was light and the foreground was dark. So I had to bracket some shots. Not a focus stack, it's an exposure stack. And I know that looks really weird with the blue, but that was the color. I mean, that was unbelievable. We had that, even he wanted to stop and look at that, he was not in a rush. And we still had a ways to go to get to West Yellowstone. So that was a really spectacular sunset that we got in Yellowstone. So the next morning we got up and there's a place, as you come from West Yellowstone into Yellowstone, you go through the gate, the ranger's gate there, and right a little further, maybe a half a mile on your left, there's a pull-off to go to Baker's Hole fishing site. It's world famous. If you're into fly fishing, that's one of the places that you want to go. And we got there. There's a guy there. It's dark. It's 4:30 in the morning. It's dark. There's no one there. And there's a guy there with his fishing pole. And he walks up to us and he said, he was like the gatekeeper or something. He was like, "Where are you guys from?" I said, "I'm from Colorado." "Oh, we have problems with fishermen from Colorado." It's like, "What? You don't know me. What do you mean you have problems with it?" But it was it was a big high embankment behind, so I couldn't get a back cast, so I couldn't fish there, and the river was ripping and it was cold, maybe it was 20 degrees out. And I just saw the steam everywhere and the sun coming up. I just got my camera and my tripod. I let my friend fish, and I just went out and took photos of Baker's Hole. Go ahead. That's him in the river. That's just the steam. It was so cold that the cold river was generating steam. So I think it was about 24 when we started fishing. As the sun came up, it got.
Was this in September, you said?
Yeah, early September. So I just walked around. There was a million photos there. This is because the sky and the foreground didn't work. I had to bracket the shots to get an exposure stack. Obviously over here, there's some kind of geyser. I didn't walk all the way over there, but that was a lot of steam was coming up from over there. So it had to be some sort of hot spring or something like that. But there, and then, by the time we were finished, there were like 15 guys lined up there, and there was a whole procedure. They had to teach me this. you take 3 casts and you take 1 step to the left. You take 3 casts and you take, and you, so it's like a conveyor, but then you work your way around. It's like this, I didn't know about these things.
That's what they're saying, trouble with
But he taught me that, but I wish, I can't remember his name. He told me, you know what he told us? He said, go into town and tell them you met so-and-so and they'll tell you stories. We went in, they were like, oh, no, you met him. So the next day, this is the following day, we were going up to fish the Madison River, a little north of Yellowstone. Once again, we got up before the sunrise. That day, it was 12 degrees when I got out of the car. So that's where you get, that's an overflow pond, sun's coming up, steam off the pond. You know, we knew it was gonna be cold, but I wasn't expecting 12 degrees. So we went up the Gallatin River. That's where we were going up the Gallatin River. And it was the most fishy river I've ever seen. It looked that it should have had 1 million fish in that river. We didn't catch one. We fished from like 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And I caught 1 fish at 7:30 in the evening.
How many did you see? Could you see many fish?
No, we didn't see many fish rising. You know, it was just, I mean, I call this fishing frustration because he's just disgusted because it's like we tried everything, changing flies, we're doing this, we're doing that. He's going this way, I'm going that way. We didn't catch any fish until the end of the day. But we fished 12 hours in that river and it was so beautiful. I mean, he's walking out frustrated. I mean, look at him. He's just like disgusted, his head's down. I mean, I don't tell stories with my photography, but there it is. I mean, I tell the story.
Maybe the red sweater was scaring the fish.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we weren't prepared. So then the following day, we went to the Henry's Fork River. It's world famous. We went to a world famous place called the Box Canyon. It was in the middle of nowhere, on dirt road for miles and miles. And we fished that for a really long time. We had lunch there, didn't catch any fish. And then to rub our noses in, an osprey comes along, takes a fish up out of the water, flies down and turns back and comes back and is like waving to us. So it was just a nice place to fish, a beautiful place to fish. There he is again. I think he might have caught 1 fish there. And there were float boats coming down and those guys were catching fish, but we couldn't catch any fish. So this is a couple of days later because we spent a couple of days down in Idaho on the Henry's Fork. Oh, this is a good story. The first day, because the first thing you do is when you go to a new place, you find a fly shop, you talk to the guys, they give you the intel, right? I don't know, for grizzly bears, right? So we go in and I say to the guy behind the counter, and they're very helpful. See any grizzly bears? Should we worry about that? We had bear spray and everything. And he said, I've been elk hunting all week and I only got run off the mountain twice by a grizzly bear. I was like, if I get run off once, I'm not going back. But he did have a gun because he was elk hunting. So this was on the way up into Montana on the Madison River. Once again, I like old fences. It was sunrise. I don't think it was that cold. It may be in the 30s that day. So that was not that bad. Same, just a different view. And we fished a place called the $3 Bridge. And that's the $3 bridge. I think back in the day, the story is that if you wanted to take your cattle across the bridge, you had to pay $3. There's no toll there or anything. I actually caught a couple of fish there. So that's my favorite river right there. There was a cattle corral there. So, you know, I know that whole Montana is a big cattle area, but there were when we first got there were cattle on that $3 bridge. They were grazing all around. But there were a lot of people at the $3 bridge. There were, you know, a lot of people fishing there. So it was famous. And it was cold. So there he is with his red sitting on a rock. Then the following day, our plan was to go from West Yellowstone all the way down to the Saddle River Valley, the Swan Valley in Idaho, which is about a 5-hour drive. And we we're going to fish the Snake River. We had no idea. So like in Colorado, the streams are measured in cubic feet per second. That's the flow. And 300 would be a lot in Colorado. Most of the rivers that I showed you before were 500, 600, 700. They were fine. I got, they were, you just had to be careful. This was like 2,500. And this was at like where they launched the float boats to fish. Yes,
Curious, what type of fish were you expecting to catch?
rainbow, brown trout, brook trout, things like that. Just trout. I would have caught anything, we got to hear it this way, they were launching on their float boats, so we went up to a guide and we said, is there any way to wade fish? Because we were all waiting, and he was like, not if you want to live. So we took a side trip after this was on the same area. We put our stuff we were staying in a fishing lodge there. And we drove all the way back across Idaho to the Craters of the Mountain National Park. So we spent what's that?
Craters of the Moon.
Craters of the Moon, yes, Craters of the Moon. And that was a very interesting place. We didn't fish that day, we just sightseed. It's a very difficult place to photograph because it was all black, and I guess maybe early morning directional light would be good there, but in the middle of the day, by the time we got there, we didn't have any light. And so that's just, the scenery of the Swan Valley. Very beautiful place. So then the following day, my planning was awful. I did all the planning. We drove from one end of Idaho to the opposite end of Idaho. It was like a 5-hour drive.
Oh, 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm almost done, actually.
Yeah.
So we went to Peekaboo, Idaho, population 650. So it was a tiny little place. We went to the fly shop. The guy he said, okay, there's a Nature Conservancy section of the river there, called the Crystal Spring, where you could fish. But the guys at the fly shop said, you're never going to catch anything. They're very difficult. They see a million flies. They see a million fishermen. So they said, go fish there in the morning when it's lunchtime. Drive to the other side of town and go to the area over there. So you might have more luck there. It's a little less populated, a little less crowded. And so we went there. Go ahead. Well, there's a good story that goes behind that one. So we get there and we get to the parking lot, and there's one car in the parking lot. It's like a van. So my friend said, well, I'm going to go find that fisherman. I'm going to get a little intel from him. So he goes back into the woods over here. This is like the parking lot's here and at the river and parked over here. So he goes back in the woods and he finds there's a woman back there. And she said, listen, there's a big fish in this hole. I've been fishing here all day. It's just me and my dog. I'm going to fix that fish. Just be careful. There's a male and a female moose around here somewhere. I heard them all day. I didn't see them. Just be careful. So he comes back and tells me, I said, I'm fishing around the corner. This is the opposite side of the boat. It goes around that way. I'm fishing over here. And he tells me, so I go fishing over there. And then all of a sudden he calls me back and he said, come back here. I see the moose. And you just could see the antlers in those reeds back there. It's the only thing that's standing up. So I said, I can't fish over here because if it goes through those woods, it's going to come right into the river on top of them. It's not that big. So I'm fishing right here, right below the parking lot. And all of a sudden, I'm just fishing, and all of a sudden I hear, and I turn around from here to there. Up above me is the female moose coming out and going down. He's now looking at, I'm downwind from her. The male moose stands up on the other side. She's looking at him. She doesn't see me. She doesn't smell me. And she comes down the embankment. It was so close. The only thing I said, the only way I'm surviving this is I punch it in the face. That's how close it was. But at the same time, I said, oh, S. And it jumped sideways to the extent that it jumped high and sideways. I understand they can jump sideways really well. My friend was down. He said he thought it went over my head. It jumped over my head. And then the male came out into the middle of the river And I got my camera out and I was waiting in the river to start charging this. So then I took this from behind my car in the parking lot. So I really love moose, but I don't want to see it that close. Really, it was this close. I was ready to punch it. That was my only chance. I thought I was definitely going to get trampled. And that's the way home through the Badgerton-Teton National Forest. It was a cloudy, moody, foggy day. I just said, stop the car, I gotta take this picture. I don't like pictures with roads in them, but nonetheless, I think it adds a nice S-curve to the photo. So we spent 2,000 miles, we fished 7 different rivers, and didn't catch, maybe I could have, if I could have dozen fish, it was a lot. And I came home with 500 memories, you know, so, and great stories, right? I almost punched a moose. So, any questions, anybody?
Only 500 pics?
Yeah, most of the time, you know, I was really concentrating on my first love fishing. You know, so most of the time it would be on the drive in or the drive out. I would, you know, I didn't carry my camera with me or things like that. If I would carry my phone and I would take a picture, but those aren't that good.
Did you stop at all these locations and talk to the local?
Everywhere was welcome. Yeah, if we hadn't, you know, like the Henry's Fork, we fished it in multiple days. We only went to the fly shop once, but whenever we went to a new river, we would stop at the fly shop and get some intel and then buy something, obviously.
sure.
That's what you gotta do.
Do you have to have a fishing permit for each of the
Yes.
sites?
And yes, and you have to have, and if you fish in Yellowstone, you have to have a special Yellowstone fishing permit, which is just, and that's the only national park in the country that requires a special fishing license. So, but they're easy to get online. So you can, I bought it online ahead of time and you just put in the dates you're gonna fish. So it's not a big deal. Yes.
What were some of the unique flies that you used there that you haven't used in Colorado?
They, in that Baker's Hole, they use this big, tungsten head, nymph. It's really like a jig that they tie, usually in Colorado, if you want to do tandem flies, you tie one off the hook shank. This, they tied another dropper off the eye of this hook. So that's it. I still have it in my fly box, you know, but they were using like really big flies there because the water was moving fast. You know, other than that, you know, it's the same. The insects are pretty much the same.
Maybe that's why you didn't catch my friend.
I didn't have enough flies. I have to go find one. Well, that's why we stopped at, we stopped at every fly shop and, they would say, well, most of them I already had. I had done the research on what I needed. It was just those weird ones, like Baker's Hole was really strange because the water was like 800 CFS and just flying. So, and you needed to get down. They weren't coming up to the surface. They weren't looking up. You had to get down, and you had to get down fast before your line went down the river.
What cameras were you using?
I shoot with a Sony V7R3. So I used to be a Nikon shooter, and I had a lot more. I haven't bought anything but a 2470 full Sigma for my Sony. That's the only lens I need now. I've been contemplating getting a wider angle lens, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But that's plenty for me. If I wanted to, I would just stitch things together. But I don't do a lot of that. And 24 is wide enough for everything I needed. I did have a 14-24 for my Nikon. It was a beautiful lens. I still have it, but I'm thinking about buying that for the Sony, but I haven't.
Has any of your gear taken a bath?
No, I'm very, very careful about that. I've taken the bath more, like in the Henry's Fork, I fell in and got swept down a little ways. But that I didn't have my camera with me at that time. And on this trip, going back to my grandfather was the person that taught me the love of fishing, and he was a fly fisherman. So when he passed away, I found his old bamboo fly rods, and during the pandemic, I refurbished them. So I fished in some of those rivers with his bamboo fly rods, which I really, got a real kick out of it because I know that he's smiling down at me and appreciating that I'm using his gear. And all last year, all the fishing I did in Colorado, I just fished with his bamboo rods. So
Yeah, I guess. Is that the last slide or is there another?
That's it.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harry.
Sure. Sorry it was too short. It's fine, I talk too fast, I know that.
All right, any questions? Yeah, you got one back there.
Beginning, you mentioned, I don't remember if it was a book or something, the Rocky Mountain Fly Highway. Is that-
It's a documentary, you can find it on Amazon Prime,
Okay.
yeah. It talks about that's what gave us all the locations we wanted to go to. And if you just Google that, you'll also find the same thing. There's a million different websites just on that. You can actually find the maps on the loop that you're supposed to do.
I have no question.
Sure.
On the bamboo rods, I've never did them, but I understand they're slow rods. Have you had issues getting, casting in the wind with them or?
Yes, it would be a problem. You can't cast like streamers or anything like that. They're really primarily dry fly rods or, light nymphs, but I love them a lot. I like fast action. The tips are really fast, so they're nice. So I'd be happy to show them to you if you'd like. One of them's 100 years old. I have I have a 3-weight and 2 5-weights. The 3-weight is 7.5, and that's at least it's 100 years old. At least it's 100 years old. There's no famous maker or anything like that. And the other one, the 2 5-weights are about 80 years old.
Wow.
And totally refurbished. I refurbished them myself, so there's a connection between my grandfather and myself with the refurbishing and the fishing.
All right.
All right, we'll take a short break and then we'll come back and give our member photos.
Thank you.
Lights, please.
Glad, thank you.
Lights.
When I get nervous, I just talk. Okay. Thanks for your help, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just that. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I think they're really.
They joined.
That's a small room. Because Morel, that's his number by lot, like. Black river plain. Here's the cows.
We ready for lights? Someone get the lights?
Carl, you're on.
Okay.
Got it.
The assignment this month was
Motion.
motion.
Action or motion.
Action or motion? Okay, this is Melissa Dorman, and I got an email from her that she couldn't come tonight. But she took this picture at Wildlife Reserve.
Hey, Gary, we're not seeing the photos.
What's that?
Hang on. What was that you said?
We're not seeing, we're not seeing the photos on the Zoom.
Okay, hold on. I'll get it figured out. Should have been sharing by now. Hang on.
We're seeing the group, which is
You
not
don't
bad.
want to see the group. We're a motley crew tonight. Well, let's see. Why did that do that?
So sorry to interrupt.
Hey, Gary, just do stop sharing and then reselect the red button to your
Yeah,
left, right.
we'll try it again.
There you go.
Don't share
It's
that.
gonna, no, it's gonna open at a different, so, oh, yeah, stop share and then go to the actual images on the file and let it open and then select that program.
This is the program that we opened.
Now go back and select share.
Nope, that didn't do it. Hold on. Well. Why would that not? All right, we'll try this share again. So you're saying select this. Go
Yep.
back.
Hit share right there.
That's what we did.
Boom. $50.
There you go.
Dwight, do you see that?
I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's true.
Dwight's great at that for me. Okay, back at it. So Carl, where did she take this?
At the Wildlife Sanctuary. I'm
Oh,
not sure where that is.
Kingsburg? Kingsburg.
Right, yeah.
Where?
Kingsburg. Wildcat Sanctuary, they have the tiger.
Oh, okay.
This is Ann.
Yeah, this is the Tour de France. This was actually not on our planned itinerary, but we were doing the Tour de Mont Blanc hiking trail and we came to Les Chapeaux and we needed to take a shuttle down to Berck-Saint-Maurice for our lodging for that night. But the road was closed because the Tour de France was coming through.
so they got in your way.
So they got in our way, so we still had to walk about half a mile to get over the road where they were riding past, but we couldn't go anywhere anyway, so just went over and watched the Tour de France.
This is Bill.
More of my point shoot. I saw the truck coming down the road and I didn't realize just how big and how fast that truck was going, because I'm about a foot and a half off the highway, I guess 70 miles an hour. And it was ground shaking. But yeah, it's cool. Last chance. It's the only spot that I can find where a sign said last chance on it. And I just kind of wanted to get last chance in the Milky Way, and you know.
Where is Last Chance?
It's like in the Eastern Plains, about 75 miles east of here.
Goes straight east on 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a crossroads. There's a church,
37.
abandoned motel, and that's it.
And Dairy King.
Which is also closed.
That's right. But they're actually
It looks like somebody's working.
Yeah, yeah.
Been.
But that's that.
Nice.
How long was the exposure on that one?
It's
So, you know,
25 or 30.
Caleb's up to his own tricks here.
Yeah, so this one's a little bit of a throwback. For those of you that maybe don't know, I did a lot of car compositing back as a teenager, and so I was going through my photos. I intended to do a different photo shoot to find new photos for the action and motion category. But then these came to mind when that didn't pan out, and I started looking back through those because a lot of them incorporated motion too. This one was just fully with that concept of like capturing the sound waves
Cool.
and integrating those two. And part of this too is just kind of because of Bob. Bob Emerald very frequently just asked us like, hey, did you do any more car composites? And you know, it was just really encouraging of that too. So I just want to say for all of you guys too that as a kid, it was like super meaningful to have people just take an interest in my work too. So yeah, it's tribute to Bob, but yeah, thanks for all this.
I like the sound wave idea.
Eagle, my picture, and of course you can get the motion by the curvature of the wings and the feathers. Plus the flare of the tail. And I like this picture because there's no doubt about it's a red-tailed hawk.
Where did you take that from?
I took it on the trail that goes along the South Platte River. We go to Valente and walk downstream.
It's a cool angle. You were like next to it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a tree and there's a path and I just happened to get him right when he crossed the path. And I think, I was shooting this picture at about 1/750th of a second. Is that what it is?
1,000.
Thousandth, okay.
That's sharp for 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Carolyn E.
Yeah, so in November, I missed the meeting. I was in Guatemala for 10 days and I was doing a mountain bike trip. And one of the breaks was hiking a volcano at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was a good break, but then we back down it like a couple hours later. So it was amazing. So the reason why you do it at night is that you can see the glow of the ash. This is an ash volcano versus a lava volcano.
So you look really close.
Yeah. You can feel it. Actually, we were waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but 3 o'clock in the morning, a massive eruption just shook the whole camp. And we were like, oh God, what happened? We are on a dormant volcano next door and camping, and you go down the saddle and back up. So I would have to say, yeah, it was like an hour and a half hike to get to the volcano, but we are on, I would say, distance is really kind of hard, to see from that vantage point. I would say you're probably maybe a mile away. You could feel it, like the rumbling, but you couldn't feel the heat. So pretty cool.
Wow.
How long?
Pardon me?
How long was your leg?
Oh, I think I brought my wide angle, so I wanted to get lots. So I had a zoom lens. Just trying different stuff. Oh, wow.
This is Charlie Kirk.
Just Renaissance Festival. I think it was like 1/800th of a second, and I keep trying to win the contest, but it's like really excruciating because they don't announce who wins it until May of the next year, and so I've done that like 3 years in a row. I think I might win this next year because I had one of my best photos in the Enterprise, so I thought that was a good sign.
So I see something shattering here. Is that what?
That's the lance, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They joust and then they hit lances on the shield, and then I guess the wood they use is like balsa or something, but they just shatter. It looks really.
Yeah. Great shot.
Yeah.
This is Dwight. Are you on, Dwight?
Yep, I sure am. This is sort of like Caleb's from the Wayback Files. This was actually before I moved to New Mexico. We were in New Mexico at my son's property, and I'd read about using steel wool, lighting it on fire, and we did a number of shots. You put the steel wool into a metal whisk and attach a cord to the whisk and then spin it, and it ignites and throws off the sparks. And about the third or fourth shot, I told my son, who's in the middle of this picture, by the way, with long sleeves and eye protection. And so I said, just slowly walk from left to right while you're spinning it. And this was the result.
Wow.
It turned out great, like.
Beautiful.
So what gave you the inspiration to ask him to move left to right?
just thinking it might be cool. I don't know. So
I
I'm
ask
looking.
because, I've seen these kinds of images before, but they're usually very static, and this is
Yep.
unique to what I've seen.
Yeah, I have 3 or 4 that are just like it looks like almost like the volcano shot. They're in a peak with a point, and he's just spinning it. One, he's spinning it above his head. And I was looking at this, and I was thinking, we're going to have a big 4th of July bash at his house this year, and I was thinking to do this again, and instead of spinning it in a circle, do a figure 8 with it and walk towards you. And it'd be interesting to see how that looks.
Well, we look forward to seeing it in August.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Steel wool too, the BBC, put out a bit of a stop motion, essentially, advertisement for their broadcasting of the Olympics, and they use, a lot of steel wool in that, so great inspiration there too. If you search Trails Will Blaze, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a P-51. What can you say? It was, this was at the one of the air shows right over here at
Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain. This was a number of years ago. This was taken with a Canon D6, a 60D. But it's been years ago. It was
How
fun.
fast did you shoot this, Gary? Look at
No.
the propeller.
It wasn't fast enough. Oh, Lightroom wiped out all of my EXIF data. This would have been probably in the 500 to 1,000s, which is a little bit too fast. Which is why there's not enough blur with the prop. I showed this to some aviation photographers, and I got ripped to shreds for it. You don't have enough blur on that prop. Is it gonna fall out of the sky?
I had the same experience, Gary, with a similar photo.
Hans,
Yeah, this past summer. We were just trying to play around with, a ghost coming into or out of one of the models. So we had one model kind of walk back and forth behind the other model and taking a slow shutter speed. You can get kind of this eerie, type image.
Yeah.
What was your shutter speed?
Maybe a quarter second or something like that.
I don't know if that would be on there.
Yep. Quarter second.
Not quarter second. Well, the Enterprise liked it.
very nice.
That's my shot. We just went up to Vail one day, well, actually for the weekend with my oldest daughter. We had no idea what was going on, but they were having the GoPro mountain games that weekend. And this was like Friday afternoon, and all the kayakers with these very short kayaks were just practicing in the river. And I just sat there and took a bunch of photos. I just like this uncomfortable feeling it gets you. Is he coming in? Is he going out? What's happening? And the colors are nice.
Yeah. So did he go under?
He was coming out, I think. I think he was righting himself.
Yeah.
They try to roll. That was the whole point. They would roll and try to right themselves. That was, I got out of the whole thing. They were just going up to this whitewater rolling, and then it was like a big circle. There was a whole bunch of them, maybe 5 or 6 of them going, taking turns.
Yeah.
I don't know when whatever they were going to do in the competition was going to happen, but they were just practicing that day.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
Yes, guys.
This is my dog, Selma, who loves swimming and all kinds of athletic things. And this is at Horsetooth Reservoir, where she was fetching a ball and I just love capturing her focus and just her determination to get that ball.
She catch fish too.
She is a very good swimmer though. She followed me into Guernsey Reservoir in Wyoming when my son and I were on the jet ski. And my daughter stayed with her on the shore and she was determined to swim after us. And we didn't notice she was already like halfway through reservoir. Trying to follow us. So we turned around and she swam back and she was not even exhausted. She wanted to play ball.
Did you say what kind of dog she is?
She's a German Shepherd. I had her imported from my hometown in the Czech Republic.
Like on the mud.
Oh, yeah.
Joan,
This was in Glacier National Park. And I just got the fluid of the water, the motion of the water by slowing my shutter speed down.
Nice.
No.
Joe, that's me, yeah. This is, snowboard racing at the Olympics.
The most recent one?
The very most recent one, yeah. And I just, I got hooked and I couldn't stop taking pictures. I probably have 200 pictures of the Olympics, but these guys kind of stood out to me because of their color and everything, and the fact that they were in the air.
Nice shot.
So you were
I'd
there?
like to say I was there. No, I was on Coral Street in Broomfield. That's a really long lens.
this is John.
It's a flamingo from Amboseli National Park in Kenya. And they're awkward when they leave the water, they run. When they land, they run. So they're not graceful at all until they're in the air. I had a couple to pick from that made them look more awkward but I felt I should be more respectful of the bird. And just the splash in the water and the motion kind of gives you the feeling of movement.
And I really love this picture. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you use post-processing at all?
Well, I use Lightroom to do post-processing and, when you shoot in RAW, obviously you have to flavor it a little bit, right? And saturation and all that kind of stuff. But as far as post-processing, there's nothing other than a little cropping and maybe some tonal and color adjustments.
Yeah. May I suggest
Okay.
that you lighten the shadows up? Here and on the inside like that.
Okay.
I maybe shouldn't do this, but when I get a picture like this that I really like, I sometimes download it into my own computer. Play with it.
Would you like the RAW file?
No, thanks.
I will give you the raw.
I did it in JPG and it really improved it a lot.
Yeah, what I liked about this one was look on the breast of the bird as a reflection of the water, and I just thought I liked there's some shadow to it, there's some bright to it, so there's a lot of contrast in the image, and that's kind of where I was going for.
I like the water coming off the tap.
Now, they splash. I had a picture of one, there's 3 splashes behind it. That was
And of course, I like the red color too on the back of the
Yeah.
wings. It's just fantastic for a bird photographer.
I had a spot, we were sitting in a van on the edge, and there were probably 1,500 of them out in the water.
Wow.
And they were just all over the place. So, and these guys took 200 pictures when they went fishing, I took 2,000 pictures. Yeah, we're talking terabytes of bird pictures. Yeah, I like that one because I just felt that the treatment of the bird gave him a little bit of grace, and I just liked how the lighting hit.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife and I were in Kauai a couple of years ago. We were kind of looking for a beach where we could watch the sunset. kind of just picked out a road and drove down there, and there wasn't anybody down there, and I thought, oh, this might be cool. So I got up on this lava shelf. The problem was the water would come in over that lava rock, so I had to jump off as soon as I got the shot, because there's kind of a tidal pool down in there, you wouldn't want to be swept over.
I like the reflection in that.
Yeah.
Good shot.
You know what beach that was? No, I don't recall. Kind of looked like.
Larry.
That was in Zambia, Kafue National Park, and the whole pride went across this, wouldn't call it a river, a creek. And this was the boss, and I got him at just the right time.
Oh, great shot.
Yes.
Very nice.
So they all jumped, or then he?
They all jumped individually, some more gracefully than others. I got one great shot of a face plant. I like this one better.
Yeah. This is great.
And this is Mark.
Yeah, that's at the Chicago, well, I called this one the Chicago Air Show. It's at the Chicago Air and Water Show in August on the lake, and 500,000 people show up watching it. There I got some blur, probably not enough, I don't know. Enough for me, but it was fun.
Good shot.
Did you flip it?
Oh, bunch.
This is Skip Stewart at the Grand Junction Air Show. He's about 8 to 10 feet off the deck. What I liked about this picture, you can see it pretty good here, but if you zoom in on the cockpit, you can see how it's still tearing the ribbons. It's still dragging and tearing the ribbons as he flew through the.
Oh, here.
He flew through that on purpose as part of contest?
No, it's air show demonstration.
Okay.
So I don't know how much he pays the volunteers that are holding that. But he goes flying through there pretty fast.
Mike. Is this the owl picture you were telling me about?
Yes, sir. This is thanks to, this is why you want to go with other members in the club. I'm driving the car with John Reed on our way up to St. Vrain. And out of the car, I don't know, he spotted this owl's ears up against the trunk of this tree. So we got out, took a few pictures. And
It's actually coming after you.
he was sure giving me a look. But he went on across the road to a different tree.
Nice.
I saw the face is sharp, or the wings are moving.
That's a great shot.
Bill, this is bicycle race in Littleton. And they go in a loop around downtown Littleton. And this lady, I noticed when she went past me, had that expression. I thought, oh, I should have got that, but she came back around and she had the same expression.
Got it.
So I shot it again, but
Still in front.
getting bicyclists in motion to get them sharp and to blur the background is tricky.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of failures.
A lot of panning.
A lot of pan, you pan and use a relatively slow shutter speed, like a 60th of a second. Sounds like a good topic for presentation.
Yeah,
Possibly.
there you go.
How far away were you, Phil?
I was just on the side of the street there, so I don't know, 15 feet, something like that.
You ever tried some of the automatic panning autofocus lenses?
No.
Have you?
Phyllis.
Yeah, that, so my action is the cat, so I was trying to capture her. I thought that one showed it the best. She was focused, and then her paws and just going at it.
Nice kitty.
Yeah.
Raymond's not, I don't think he's here, is he? Haven't seen him.
Haven't seen
Don't
it.
think so.
That's cool.
Rebecca.
Becca.
Yeah, so Wendy and I did Christmas markets in Germany. This was in Koblenz. And Wendy said, don't take pictures of children because their parents will get mad at you. And I went, I'm a creeper, I can do this. And they were just having so much fun, and it just brought me joy thinking of them riding on it. Little tiny Christmas market, and just a few little rides like this.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Or as they would say in German, niedlich. Oh,
Sherry, I don't think Sherry's here.
Looks pretty close.
wait a minute,
Hey,
Harry,
Miss.
Harry, you didn't go fishing down there, did you?
No.
Okay.
I'd be running if I did.
This is about 5 miles south of the Sea of Tranquility on the moon. Okay, I'm just jealous of everybody's travel photos. This is near the entrance to Arches. And I was coming out after a day, and it was getting dark out, and I noticed these, the cars, and in fact, I'm looking at this and it's like, I got more red taillights than I did. But anyways, it took me quite a few shots to kind of balance out, because there'd be dark spots without cars. So I had to kind of wait and have cars exactly in the right spots, so that there was a trail through the whole thing. Very cool.
Cool, very nice.
Like a lava flow.
Headlines.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
How long the exposure?
Oh, I don't know. Harry can tell you.
I don't think so.
It was probably 30 or
30 seconds exposure.
30 seconds.
Wow. Okay, maybe there wasn't that many cars.
Still a lot.
It's really fast.
Wow.
This is a member of the Red Forest parachute team. Was taken at last year's air show down in Colorado Springs as part of the opening ceremony.
Cool.
Cool. Great exposure.
Yeah.
Got the subtleties of the white. That's great.
Wendy.
This is at Rocky Mountain Arsenal. And, Carl and Gary, it's kind of where we got out and walked when we were looking for the cardinal over there. You know where those ponds are? So I walked over there. I was photographing this red tail, and it had a red-winged blackbird like bombing it. And then it landed in the tree literally where I'm standing. And so I had to like pick up my camera, my tripod, and move like 20, I don't know how far I was, but he just sat there and posed and posed and posed for me. And so I turned I think this is 3200th of a second. Just as he was getting ready to fly off, I just I did a really fast shutter speed. And then he flew at my camera. And I have my third picture, you'll see, I can't even get him in the whole frame. He's so close to me. And then he literally dropped on the ground like 10 feet away from me. It was like, I was like, oh my God, I can't
So
say
it was
this.
fangirling a little bit.
It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah. But, and so it's my aperture is 6.3 to get the whole thing in focus, because I was so close to it.
Great job.
Some mornings are better than others. Yeah. That's a great one.
Oh,
So here we have probably the prey for Wendy's bird.
Wendy's breakfast.
Yes. This was up in Rocky Mountain National Park. I was looking for locations to do some astro photos up by the Rock Cut on Trailwood Road. And there's a great population of little pikas there in the fall. And this fine young gentleman was on his way to deliver flowers to his sweetie. So they were very hard to photograph, I will say, and I was not prepared for the challenge. So this is my only good photo out of probably like 100.
You got him in here, his feet are off the ground.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Great shot.
Andrew,
So normally I'm on the field coaching, but my kid made the All-Stars team, so I got to take a whole bunch of pictures. So there he is, getting ready to block the ball in the dirt.
Great timing, nice, perfect timing at the top of the urge there.
Yeah.
His eyes are open.
Keep your eye on the ball. All right. Fantastic.
that's all of the A's, so we're going to look at- This is Alyssa again. She said that he jumps 13.5 feet pole vaulting.
Wow.
That's her son.
Oh,
That's my goodness.
This is Ann Huffman.
And this is the Prater Amusement Park in Vienna. And I just like the colors of the, it just kind of says fun to me.
Yeah.
The blue sky.
Colorful.
And Bill.
I call this the mother-daughter relationship. Because, sometimes it's a little moody, it's a little stormy, mothers and daughters. I mean, when they get a certain age, my daughter's in college at this point, and this is Monterey, but the mood was, if we could have sent her to the University of Saturn, Pluto, far away that we could send her was out in California, because that's where the relationship was at that moment in time. Everything about this was captured their relationship, having a little talk.
I'm taking odds on who would push who in.
Yeah, exactly.
Good shot.
This was, kind of a different form of action, I guess, but windy day and it was just catching feathers just right and kind of dropping his feathers. It's out right out the kitchen window.
Like a dress.
Yeah.
That's a flicker.
Woodpecker, back with woodpecker.
Is that a flicker?
Yeah.
Red shafted northern flicker.
Northern flicker.
Northern
You
flicker.
said woodpecker.
It's a type of woodpecker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Bird clubs down the street.
Yeah,
This is
talk
mine.
about more birds.
This is mine, and it's a northern shoveler showing off for some lady, I think. But on this one, I think I took the photo at 1/750th of a second, and the wings are in motion. You can see the borders and wings, but the eye is shut.
And you can see the water.
Yeah.
A little drop of
Yeah.
purple wings.
Yeah.
The line's in the water though.
Where was this from?
Cool.
This is on the plat.
Okay.
Yeah, nice reflection.
That's Carolyn.
No, this is not my phone. No. So, we were at Copper Mountain and they have their Grand Prix. This is circuit that the skiers and snowboarders come through. It's the half pipe. So we hike the half pipe and we're just, you have to like really, cause they hit at certain spots. So if you're in between like their jump zone, you're not gonna get anything. So I had to relocate myself to kind of get where they would be. So super fun day. I took over 200 pictures. It was so much fun.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Charlie.
So I took mycology class last semester for my biology degree. We were trying to culture fungus that grows inside the needles. And so this was a successful one. My other attempt was not successful. It had other kinds of fungus going on there, but this shot kind of took a little bit of working because this was through a petri dish plate, like the lid, basically. And so I found some lights in the lab that I shined through the sides of the dish across the like horizontally across the scene, and then I used my macro lens to get a shot, and then I cropped a little bit.
Wow. So what are the green sticks?
Yeah, these are ponderosa pine needles. Yeah.
How long are they? Pine needles.
Yeah, they're like maybe like 2 inches tall.
Wow.
It's nice. Great lighting.
Yeah, it was fun to find those lights. I was like, oh yeah, that's great.
It worked.
This is Dwight again.
Cool.
Are you on, Dwight?
Yep, still here. I'm gonna flood you guys with white sand stuff in all my open category. This was after a pretty windy evening at White Sands.
Nice.
It makes a heart shape, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the motion.
Yeah.
Certainly shows the
that's
motion.
great.
Yeah, I thought it fit the theme for this month.
Yeah.
Perfectly. Looks
So I
great.
want everybody be thinking about White Sands. There's a lot of different opportunities.
Okay.
This is Gary.
American white pelican coming in for a 2-point landing.
Reflection is cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waved out.
Is this also a woodpecker?
It's a big one.
And Hans.
This is from a cosplay shoot this summer as well, or fall. I kind of like this one.
Yeah, that's.
Her kind of like expression is
Yeah.
making this picture.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Where is this?
This is at the what is that thing called again? Glass House Conservatory in Windsor.
Wow.
It's a pretty cool. It's almost like a ranch style property with they have a glass house that they kind of build into a studio setup. Yeah.
Nice.
I love the depth of field with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah, there was a lot of smoke and everything going on there. Yeah.
Nice.
This is Harry.
That's mine. For some reason, I like landscapes with a lot of texture. I like to have the foreground be pronounced, and this is on the Foothills Trail in north side of Boulder. I think it was sunrise. And in the fall, so you get the different colors of the grasses.
Nice shot.
Nice.
Textures.
Yeah.
My archive, that's my son, who's 18 now. I just really like this action shots, sledding in Longmont. And it was kind of along the lines with my dog's motion, so they kind of went together, so I chose those. Gave us fun. He did not injure himself on this one.
You can see fun on his face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still having fun.
Joan.
Took this at the orchid show at the Botanic Gardens. Please go picture.
Nice.
I think so. There's stuff there.
Yeah, they have it every year. I don't know if it's early.
Yes, sir.
I think it's February.
Yes.
I've gone a few times.
Joe.
Yeah, this was, I was cross-country skiing up on the Grand Mesa a couple of years ago. My wife's family has a house in Cedar Ridge, which is the first town you get to when you go south off the Grand Mesa. So they were all down there playing golf and eating dinner, and I went cross country.
Nice shot.
Right down.
John, I got a neighbor that's a biker, and that's the Erie single track bike trail, and he said, hey, man, would you take some pictures of me? So I went and kind of crouched down low where he was gonna be jumping, and I took a bunch of shots for him, and this was one as he was launching off the, and he, comes a foot or so by you. I'm off the edge of the trail looking up, and some kid showed up, little kid showed up. And he wanted some pictures too, so I did a bunch of stuff for some little kid. So, yeah.
Good shot.
Great shot.
Clean your lens, you should. Did you have to clean your lens?
Oh, yeah, it's a dusty spot. I tell you, you're getting jumped around all over you.
We, were down near Uray, and I wanted to get up into this area, Red Mountain house area. So I went up Corkscrew Gulch to Hurricane Pass. There happened to be a cross there. And I thought somebody just planted that for the fun of it, but I walked further up the mountain, took a panoramic, and when I got home, on the other side of the cross, it says Michael, and the last name and the year. And so I mentioned the family put ashes up there, put a cross. Yeah, well.
Great.
Yeah. Nice photo.
Larry,
Madagascar, the dancing Safaka. And they're a lot of fun to watch and happened to get a good pose.
That's cool. A monkey or?
They're sort of related to the lemurs.
That's King Julian.
Mark,
Yeah, this is the Chicago Water Show. Part of it. I just like the picture.
Yeah.
Mark Bunn.
Is the Washington DC Metro line through the station, Pentagon Station there. Happened to be there like all by myself, it must have been, so. Train coming, okay, let's slow down the lens, so.
There's nobody else there.
I know.
Nice.
That's really unusual. Nice photo. Okay, that took. Where am I done? Okay. Here we go.
Wow.
Mike Irwin.
It's almost like.
What's Bar Lake? Bar Lake on a nice cold morning and the geese were coming and going. I just happened to, I love the way they all kind of symmetrically followed each other into the lake. That's not a. Almost looks like stop action.
Yeah.
No, it's it's actually 6 or 7 geese all coming in one right after the other. I got a big kick out. And I didn't realize it one shot.
I've never seen a two-headed one before.
They're special.
And it's Phil.
This was up Rocky Mountain National Park earlier this month. And it snowed for about an hour. So I was gonna use this for the motion one, but for the assigned one, but I decided it might not be obvious that it's snow in motion. So anyway,
It's like next year's Christmas tree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Phyllis.
That's my granddaughter. My big range of subject matter, and I just like the way I guess you're really not supposed to have your feet off when you do a free throw, but I like your jump and the motion of the ball.
Yeah. That's great. You caught her in the air. That's good.
Good capture.
Did it go in?
This is Raymond again. Raymond's not here.
That's a good capture.
That might be his kid.
Rebecca.
This is my friend's horse, Tink, lives in Florida. And she was kicking it up. Yeah. She wasn't very happy that I was in the ring with her, so her mother stood in front of me to make sure I didn't get it.
I like the way you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that little bit of light on it, yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Geese. Mesker Farm.
So not woodpecker,
Great shot.
okay,
Not eagles.
got it.
Yeah, it looks like there's lanes.
Looks like what?
Looks like there's lanes.
Yeah.
Fine geese.
Lane number 2's in the lead.
This is windy.
This is, Brook Mountain Arsenal, same trip. These two eagles were just sitting there like lumps, and then you know how it goes, but like one takes off and the shutter speed's too low, so I just used this one because I had it at like 800th of a second, the other one's kind of blurry.
Exactly.
This was from a trip last summer to Washington DC for work. I left my digital camera at home, so I brought my film camera just for some sort of street photography or monument visits. If I could time travel into the future and get Phil's future presentation on panning, I would take that lesson and bring it back to try to emphasize the motion of the train a bit more with a blurrier background and a frozen train rather than a blurry train and a sharp foreground. I tried to do the long exposure like Mark with his picture of the metro, but not long enough.
The trick is to match your panning to the movement of whatever the train or the person, but that's very hard to do. It's very hard to like match the speed of it as you pan.
It's better to practice with digital, I think.
Yeah, yes.
This is Andrew.
Yeah, so, this was one of his hits in the game. And cash is immortalized.
Just before it hit the back.
Yeah. Great.
Single or double?
I think that was a single.
Third baseline, that's the.
This is listed again, and these are her dogs.
Like a painting.
And
So this is, what's called Eisbachfälle in Munich in the Englisher Gardens. Or English Gardens, and, so there's this stream that goes through the park, and it's a man-made wave, and people surf on it on the stream.
Cool. Nice.
Bill.
Wow.
This is the arrival of the mothership through the space-time continuum. It's where the aliens come from, and the wall isn't tall enough to keep them out. It's where the aliens come from.
There's the basic. Wow. Nice. Well, what is though?
That's a plane.
It is
taking
an
off.
airplane, okay. I know how long your exposure was, so, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's a 3.5, 4% moon.
0.4 seconds.
0.4 seconds.
Wow.
Where are you? Yeah.
Right off of 96, east towards the airport, where in the summertime all the sunflowers are, and now it was. We trampled through, a few of us trampled through a bunch of winter wheat.
Caleb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this Saturday and Sunday in Grand Lake, they're having their enjoying finals. And it was a blast to photograph last year. So, I'll be up there on Sunday shooting that. And if you guys want to meet up there.
Did they get snow? Did they get snow?
No. Are they hauling? So they've been hauling it in, they've been making snow. think they were supposed to get like 10 or 20 inches sometime this week. So
I know they were threatening, but
right.
I'm going to the Leadville one the week after.
Okay. Yeah.
This is my picture. And in this instance, I shot it at 1/6000th of a second.
Yeah, yeah.
To stop the wing motion on this broadtail hummingbird.
Nice.
And there's still just a hint of motion at the tips of the wing.
Yeah.
Or was it? Shows you how fast their wings are beating.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 50 times a second.
Yeah. Where was that?
It was at
Broomfield at Edinburgh.
Chatfield, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here's another one, you can see the angle of the pipe, so you're standing up there on the edge, and once again, you wanna be in the right spot where they kind of kick off, so. This is the same guy, so, different, they get 3 times through the pipe, and then they get scored on it, so. He was the most entertaining, so I got him the most, but,
Where was this at?
Copper Mountain,
Copper?
on their super pipe, yep.
Nice.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's just me, like, not, going out in the real world enough. So I just saw the jumping spider one afternoon, and I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Well, you sure don't have much depth of field here.
Yeah, well, so that was because, I think I was at like ISO 12,800 here. Either that or like something close to it, but I think it was at f2.8.
Yeah.
I took like probably 1,000 photos of this thing, just because of the lighting conditions, and then like trying to get the eyes like in the plane of focus was really challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a macro
This
lens?
was in my house, like my cat spotted it. And so I was like, well, you don't get this one, but.
Still living in our house?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
They're actually really cool. They can learn stuff.
Oh, okay, see.
Wait.
White sand.
Okay, guess where I took this, guys?
Your backyard.
It pretty much is. It's about 15 miles from where I live.
Nice.
I love the ripples in the sand. Looks.
Yeah, it's spectacular. That's, all I can say.
Wow.
I think that one was taken right after COVID. I went to the park the morning it opened after it was shut down for 60 or 90 days during COVID. And so it was pristine everywhere, no footprints.
Yeah.
Nice.
Meanwhile, talking about COVID, this was shot during COVID. When the,
Called the honorary.
yeah, they were doing a tour of, all of their whatever, so, yeah, I shot that, that's on a hill at the Westminster,
City park.
It's a, park of some kind.
Yeah.
104th and Sheridan.
Sheridan, yeah. Yep.
And Weston is down the
Weston
hill,
Hotel.
and they just happen to be actually incredibly low, which is why I was able to get this shot. I didn't do anything to it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hans.
Scary.
Yeah, that's what I've seen cosplay shoots.
That's creepy, that's cool.
A lot of smoke. I think this lady was from New Zealand. She had this really cool look about her.
The hairdo.
Yeah, she got really creative with whatever she put in there.
Wow. Nice.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Eric,
That's, I've never been to the Colorado Monument, so after COVID, my wife and I drove there. I think that's a trail into, I think they call it the Devil's Kitchen at sunset. So it's a very beautiful place. It's quite photographic. So that was the sunset we checked out. Beautiful place.
you've got,
I had to include my daughter here too. Since my son started. It was just a silly picture of her just fighting the ocean in England.
Joan,
That was, I call that the flower. There's, I go out on my walks and try to find things to take pictures of, and this, found this thistle, and I thought it was kind of amazing looking.
It's cool.
Yeah. It looks sweet.
Yeah.
John, night photography on the streets. And it's London, near Angel Station, and a double-decker bus went by. It was my plan. I wanted the streaks.
That's cool.
How long is exposure?
Probably about 25 seconds.
Yeah.
I stripped them down. So I was playing with exposures, and I think I had my ISO set to like 80 and my exposure 20 or 25 seconds.
Wow.
And let them bring them on. Let's go.
Cool. That is really cool.
It's really cool.
Turned out well.
Wow.
Very.
That was Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, the South Unit, and just happened to see a band of 3 horses in a small parking lot. They're minding their own business, grazing, and they saw me with the camera, and these 2 guys literally started to perform for me. You know, I've been a horse owner for 30 years. And I had never quite seen behavior like this. They were not at all aggressive with each other. They were playing.
Wow, cool.
Nice.
And I posted this to Facebook, a group dedicated to the horses, and they told me what their names were. They are Trooper and Alluvium. A couple of stallions, not related, believe it or not.
Such an unusual color.
Are these wild horses or?
Wild horses, yes.
Wow. Wow.
Nice capture.
Cool.
Really nice.
Mark.
Okay, I didn't hear a lot of comments. I was just out at the McKay Lake one day and playing with my lens and seeing what I can capture, and I was trying around a tree and the water and all this, and that didn't work, and I was just walking away, and I kind of saw this light and took it.
Yeah.
It's an acquired taste.
Nothing Jerry Case in it.
My rodeo shoots, and the question I have is what's not in motion? I mean, you've got the rider flying, the bull going, the cowboy ready to go in and save them, so.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Mike Irwin.
I'm glad I'm not the only one taking grandkid pictures. That's, my son's, actually, my grandson's not even in this, but I became the team photo bug. And took a lot of photos last fall, and that's one of their players launching one. Had fun a few times looking for motion shots.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bill.
So this was Dream Lake, Rocky Mountain National Park earlier this month. Sunrise, Rebecca.
Why you call it name?
And I have a witness, but I hiked back down, you know who I ran into?
Who?
Me. Jim Neville. Yeah.
Taking one for
I'm the witness.
See, you could have posted that and said, I'm going up there. Anybody want to join? You know, we have a little outing.
I was on a workshop.
Ah, okay,
With
never mind.
Eric Stinsland,
Oh, okay.
so,
What did you learn?
oh, how much time you got? I learned a lot.
Good, made it worthwhile. Phyllis.
And that I just, I love the spinning of the ball and the way they were facing each other.
Yeah.
Having a fun, yeah. Kids out of timeout, so.
Those game next door.
Balls in motion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is Raymond. He wants to give you a headache this time.
Yeah. It's a in your face picture.
Yeah.
Also Germany, we were on the Rhine where you pass a castle about every mile. And I just like this one because it captures a village off the river with a traditional castle in the back. And then this in the water would have actually been a fortification that would have helped protect the area coming up. And then there's vineyards up in there. So it's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Is the castle up on the hill abandoned?
So most of them are, that's actually a hotel that is family owned, but not the family that owned it originally. Somebody else bought it, and then they spent probably a lot of money to get it to where people can go in there and spend the night, stay.
Tim?
This is a shoot for Broomfield Lifestyle Magazine at, Cycle Bar, which is over by on the south end of the Orchard Shopping Center, but I wanted to capture the motion, and, I was, the new cameras are so great. I was at 1/4 of a second, that 1/4, and you can barely see her feet and her legs and so on, but yet the bike and the lights in the background are all very sharp. So I attribute that to the camera, not me.
Is it handheld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Hold a
I think
second.
you got the starbursts and the,
Yeah, how do you do that?
or is it just? 'Cause
You
the-
know what? I'm shocked too, because I was at F4.
No, show us, you were F-18.
There's the starburst.
There it is.
What about
18.
F-18.
Yeah, but look at that ISO rating. Wow.
Doing that.
Well,
You didn't watch his settings.
The way.
I just shot it.
You just shot.
Wow. Great.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the bird that.
Wendy?
That's the bird that flew into my lip.
Wow.
Wow.
Just kept seeing.
I was trying to scare the
Oh, it's a 600 millimeter.
Oh, jeez.
My goodness.
But he was literally
Yeah.
like 5-6 yards from her. He was on top of her. Yeah.
That's my pet right now. Just catching fish for me.
This is another photo from Dream Lake. I waited too long last month to go out with my film camera to try to catch the frozen water, which was last month's theme. And I got my scans back just the other week, and I was really happy with the way this one turned out. There's a couple people actually in the foreground for some scale, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
All right. This,
I'm
Why don't you come on up?
I'm gonna come up for this.
Yeah.
Well. I'll tell you about this and then we can switch to the other one. So this is my kid, he was the tying run that came home. To tie the game up at this point, and so he was a little bit excited. But I'm sitting, leaning, taking pictures of him, coming in and the coach. Right in front of me.
Right.
And it's like, it's still a good picture, but then I got thinking, like, well, what can I do to clean this up? We've talked a lot about the AI stuff, so I thought I'd give it a try. I have access to It's Google's Gemini, the Pro version. And the prompt I used, all I told it, I gave it this photo and I said, replace the blurred out coach on the left side of the image with content that matches the rest of the setting. The baseball player is wearing white pants with blue pinstripes on the outside of the leg and a blue belt. That's all I did.
Come on, go. There.
And that's what it gave me.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a good prompt.
The stripe looks fabricated.
Yeah.
To me, the blue stripe looks fabricated.
Well,
Which it is.
I mean,
So AI
Probably a little bit forward of where it would be, you know.
Right, yeah.
Or you wouldn't see both of them. AI tries a little too hard yet.
Yeah, you'd probably see less in some areas, but I have other shots where you'd see both on either side.
Still pretty amazing.
But like
Nevertheless,
the belt loops are different than the actual pants he had, but you wouldn't know that unless you saw it.
right, you had to guess what to do.
yeah.
Overall, I mean, we're pretty happy with what it did.
Yeah.
Impressive. Yeah, the shadow was.
Yeah.
I like what it did to this person up here.
Oh, yeah. It made him look at the camera, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
It turned the head. I couldn't quite figure out, probably what they were doing there.
But nevertheless, that was quite amazing. You did a great job
And
describing it.
it took it like a minute. I said.
Wow.
So the only downside was it didn't give me the full size that I put in, like it doesn't have the ability to have a full size, I mean, I gave it a really huge picture.
But notice
One
it,
is still good.
it put dirt on the pants.
On the knees.
Yeah.
Wow.
That the only prompt you tried?
Yes, that's it. I didn't see the need to try again. I thought it did pretty good.
Yeah, it really.
Really good.
That's amazing.
It saved me a lot of time, I'll say that. It wasn't about trying to clean it up by myself.
All right. That's all, folks.
Everybody, some really great photos this month.
As always.
We'll see everybody next month.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah.
So where are you going?
Yeah.
Then my job is on
Lights.
That was.
Yeah. Somebody turn the lights on.
But that's also that my special case like.
So 3, and B, C, and
We know the phone. Yeah.